Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Jack, you forgot your zip code. Come on.
That's how I multitask. Everything's half-ass. Hello.
Hi.
You hear me?
If you're not too, yeah. If you're not too shy, turn on your camera. No judging. Yeah, Laura, show off those bangs, girlfriend. Oh, I just love them. Mm-mm. Give everyone a minute or so. You guys are the good ones that are early. Nice. Nice. We got some good numbers tonight. This is awesome. Of course, everyone shows up to the fat loss Zoom. Hey, Steph.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. We both have lights streaking down through our screen.
I know. So annoying.
Yeah. Start in like a minute or so. Are your kids asleep?
Martina, I just put Martina to sleep. John is still running around. What about you?
My kids are at their cousin's birthday. I
Hey,
did not
John,
take a block.
you have to go to sleep. This is the new great fun stage.
It's also
Everybody, you're acting like a baby.
Hi, baby John. Nice. Is those Christmas pajamas?
Yeah.
We wear ours are too. It's okay.
Okay, say goodnight. Say goodnight. It's time for sleep. All right, I'm gonna mute this for 1 second.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's get started. I'm sure people will dwindle in. But here we go. More people. Okay. More people. Okay. Hold on a minute. Now, hold on. No. If I. Oh, okay. That works. Okay. So tips and tricks for cuts. Everyone's most excited phase, I guess, right? How to actually lose weight, because a lot of us have lost body fat and inches in maintenance, but we itch for that cut. I do believe that the longer you've been here, the more you realize you don't necessarily want to cut. We have some awesome people that I just had a client, right? And I think I'm not sure if Jess is here yet, right? But Jess texted me today, like, I'm just not at a point right now where I think a cut is smart. Like, she just has a lot on her plate. Oh, Jess, you came in at the right time. I was just giving you props for turning down her cut, right? She realized that her stress levels were high. A cut just wouldn't be right now. So she's pushing it back. That takes some awesome maturity and obviously learning how things really work. The cut probably wouldn't have been successful because of all the other things on her plate and the stressors. Okay. Kristen, she's here tonight. She's waited a year. She put in so much work in maintenance and never once like rushed. And now she's finally ready to cut, but she put in a year of maintenance and a bulk. For the last like 6 weeks, I upped her calories to like 2,600, and the scale did go up a little bit. We had a little, we panicked a little bit, but very little. And now she's earned her cut, but a whole year, right, at maintenance. So two just really good examples. Okay. So first two things, right? Who should cut? There's two options. One, someone who's been massively overeating for a really long time, right? You come to us and you do your 3 or 4 days of tracking and your numbers are 2,500, 3,000, 3,500. Okay, right? Like you have not been under eating. You can go into a cut then, right? If we set you at 2,000 calories, that's technically going to be a cut for you. So one, someone who is consistently overeating. Second, someone that sat at maintenance, right, for at least 6 weeks and earned their cut. So if anyone here is still kind of confused on what maintenance is, that is when you eat as much as you burn. So no cut, no bulk. You're kind of in that same 2 to 3 pound window. You're in that same 100-calorie window of eating. You are showing your body consistency. You are showing your body fuel. And you're doing it for at least 6 weeks. Like 6 weeks is the minimum. You can't hit your macros 1 week and then be like, can I cut now? Right? There needs to be consistency. It is not for someone who is always tired, unaware of their nutrition habits, under a lot of stress, in a rush to lose 10 pounds, whose internal health is compromised, okay? Or you don't have a solid foundation. If you are any of these things, or a couple of these things, this cut is going to be brutal. You probably won't be that successful, and it's not going to get you the results that you want. And then you're going to label yourself a failure, right? And that's not true. You didn't go into the cut with the proper foundation. I use this example. Oh, so I just did my last podcast. It's not out yet on this. And I use the example of if you have a 5-year-old kid, right? And you give them a times table chart. I don't even know if they do that anymore, right? And they got them all wrong. Would you be like, what the hell? Like, you're a failure. No, because they're not ready for it. They don't have the foundation. They don't have the addition, the subtraction, right? So think of yourself as that. If you don't have the foundation of consistent macros, of 10,000 steps, making sure your sleep is prioritized, of learning how to manage your stress, you're not going to succeed in a true cut. Okay. And I'm talking about a real cut, not something you do Monday through Thursday, then you lose track Friday through Sunday, or not something you do every other day or when it's convenient. A true cut, okay, you have to stick with it for over 6 weeks and you have to sacrifice. So if your foundation is not there, okay, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna be super stressed. Your body's not gonna let go of the weight and it's not gonna benefit you. You're just gonna blame yourself for not doing well when it wasn't necessarily your fault because you weren't ready for it. You would never blame your 6-year-old for failing his times tables when we're just working on subtraction and addition, right? A silly example, but it kind of makes sense. Right. So just to piggyback off that, right? If you cannot manage your maintenance, you cannot manage a cut. Maintenance is the easy phase, which a lot of you are in right now, right? Where you're eating as much as you're burning. You have ample calories, 1,800 probably to 2,500, most of you. If you're having trouble being consistent with these, we can't put you in a cut. A cut is harder. Right? If you're stumbling and tripping over a 1-foot jump, Why would any good coach be like, you know what? That 1 foot hurdle is hard. Let's give you 6 feet. Doesn't make any sense, right? Try and relate it to other things because for some reason we put blinders on with our health and fitness, right? A lot of us are teachers here, right? Again, if our kids could not get simple addition, we're not going to be like, yeah, you're right. You're not great at addition. Here, try the 7 times tables. It just doesn't, you have to get better at the easy stuff first. And that's for a long time. That's not a week of hitting your macros. It's not a month. But that's also, again, making sure your steps are all there. It's not just hitting macros, right? It's hitting macros, 10,000 steps average weekly, getting your 100 ounces of water, finding your gym times. It's a whole bunch of things coming together to make a perfect timing for a cut, right? So me and Steph always say you have to earn a cut, right? Which may sound crazy because earning something that sucks doesn't sound fun, but it's true. You have to prove that you killed your foundation. Because if you don't have that good foundation, the cut's going to fall apart. Plus, we have to make sure you fix your internal health, right? If your metabolism is still rocky from all the yo-yo dieting that you were doing, your body's just going to adjust to this cut and you're not going to lose that much weight. You may lose like, a pound or 2 in the beginning, but your body's going to adapt. It knows the deal, right? And a cut is a stressor. It adds stress to your body, and that's why you lose weight. So if you have a laundry list of things that are stressing you out to the point where you have a sty, right? Not a good time to cut. We have to manage those other things. We can't stress your body out more, right? You have to be healthy for it. Your internal health is more important. Okay, so a little bit about how cuts work, right? So our bodies are very smart, and our body's main goal is to keep us alive. And I've talked about this in other other Zooms before, that our body doesn't understand modern life, right? Our brain, our fight or flight, our adrenaline still thinks that we're new humans fighting off bears and foraging for food. They don't understand that there's a fridge behind me, right? So if I'm hungry, I can just go get food. They don't understand that my stress levels went up, not because a bear's chasing me, but because I might have gotten a red light ticket, right? Your body doesn't understand that. So it treats it just like it would hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. So the more and more you diet, so for all my yo-yo dieters out there, okay, I was one at one point. A lot of you came to this program, right? And in your intake form, you said, I just can't lose weight like I used to, right? As I'm getting older, it's getting harder to lose weight. And your first recognition is it's because I'm getting older, and you blame your age. It kind of makes sense. I mean, you're seeing that as you get older, it's getting harder to lose weight. So the thing that is changing is your age. It's not true, right? Your metabolism stays the same from age 25 to 65. Sorry to say that, guys. What changes is, one, how much you move less, and you yo-yo diet more and more and more and more. So when you were 25, you may have yo-yo dieted twice because your body was just better then. So maybe you yo-yo dieted every April for a little bit before summer, but then that was it. Well, when you turned 30, you started a diet New Year's, April, and then September. Ooh, when you turned 40, you really started to diet like every first of the month. You jumped on a new bandwagon to lose weight. So what increased was not just your age, but how often you tried a quick fix or how often you tried a fad diet. And your body learned. Your body learned how to adapt better and better and better each time, which made you not lose weight as easy as it went on because your body doesn't want you to give up this weight, right? Your body doesn't know that there's a fridge behind us. It assumes that you're going into hibernation, right? And like you're feeding yourself because maybe the farm didn't grow crops and you need this body fat because we're not going to eat for 2 months. So your body wants to keep you alive, and it's not going to just lose weight. Okay. And it knows that you're going to diet, it adapts, it slows down your metabolism, and it gets harder. Okay. So if you haven't been eating enough calories, when you come to us, right, your body is already at that point. Your metabolism is already a snail. So the only way that you could technically lose weight would be if me or Coach Steph slashed your calories even further. Now, some coaches will do that, and they should go to jail. Because for a 5-pound loss on the scale, they are damaging your internal health, possibly forever, right? If someone's eating 1,200 calories and a coach tells them, okay, now eat 800 because I have to put you in a deficit, run away as fast as you can because they are killing your hormones, your metabolism, your hair is probably falling out of your head. These are why people have such bad symptoms on Optavia and on the new diet shots, because you're massively under eating, right? The first thing a baby does when they come into this world is cry because they're hungry. And now all these fad diets and these weight loss shots are denying that human natural reaction. Don't eat, don't be hungry, stop. Something is wrong with that, right? When we put on our logical brain, that doesn't make sense. Yes, the scale may be going down, but you're denying your body of necessary calories to make everything else in you healthy, right? So is it better to lose 20 pounds in a year and then die 15 years before you would have because your body has zero nutrients in it? So just slashing your calories is not appropriate. It's a bad ethical choice from any kind of coach. And I hope you guys understand that if anyone tells you to eat 1,200 calories or even less than that, it's horrible advice, right? The only person that should be eating 1,200 calories is a toddler or someone who's 4'8" and 100 pounds. They can eat 1,200 calories, right? Also, there's been studies that most people are actually under muscled, not necessarily like overweight, right? So yes, obesity is now the number one cause of disease in the United States. I think it just came out like last week, or death, sorry, early death. But so many of us are under muscled. So cutting calories is not how we get muscle. We need to eat more. We need to gain muscle. That's the real part, right? We don't want to be skinny fat. Okay, being 120 calories, but having a body fat percentage of 40 is very bad. Okay, that is a disease hotbed, right? Being 160 pounds with a body fat of 15%, that's fucking awesome, right? Like, just because the scale is more, look at that body fat percentage. Look at what you're made up of. Okay, that's another reason why these fad diets, okay, when they slash your calories, your body fat goes up, right? With all the studies with Ozempic and Wegovy right now, every single person that's on it, body fat up. They lost muscle first. And we all know we need muscle more and more as we age, not less. Okay, especially females. We lose it at a quicker rate than the males do. Another thing that's super for us. Okay, so this is my last slide before the tips and tricks, but I've heard a bunch of stories lately, right? Coach Steph Gate told me one about her husband. I had an amazing woman on a client phone call who told me one. You guys have all said it before when we asked you about your your stories about like the horror stories about health and nutrition, that doctors like automatic advice is 1,200 calories. Steph, do you want to chime in and say what they told John? Is she there? Okay, well, I'll tell the story for her because I don't know if she went. Steph's husband went to the doctor finally for the first time ever. He's kind of like me, and he had high cholesterol. And the doctor's advice was, okay, just change your diet and eat less. Change your diet? Like, what does that mean? Go from eating pizza to eating hot dogs? Like, what does that mean to someone, right? That's just like horrible advice with no direction. Okay. And then this other woman I talked to the other day, she needs to lose some weight for other medical reasons. And the doctor was like, yeah, just like stick to 1,200 calories and try and like fast for 20 hours. 1,200 calories for a grown woman. She's almost 60 years old. I can't eat, like, the damage she's doing internally is beyond, like, you almost can't change it. But they're doctors in white coats and people trust them. Doctors take one nutrition class, right? One. They're unbelievable with their field. Cardiologists, primary care doctors, surgeons, they're amazing. But they take one nutrition class and they don't really know the ins and outs, right? So yeah, 1,200 calories works at first for weight loss, but it really, really damages everything else. You can tell, right? Someone's hair looks different. I was just with my hair girl the other day, and she was like, I can tell someone's diet when I do their hair. I can literally feel it and be like, oh, this person eats like shit. This person eats well and takes care of themselves, right? It messes up with your muscles, your memory, your sleep. No one should be in that realm. Okay. And then I heard this amazing and so spot on representation. You guys, like, this is like the best graphic I thought I ever did, and it's not even matched up. Made this from scratch. Western medicine is here. They want to get you from unhealthy to without disease. Without disease is not healthy. Right? That just means you don't have anything to write down as a disease. Okay. People like me and Coach Steph who focus on nutrition and habits and fitness and all the amazing lifestyle coaches that are out there, we want to get you feeling good, feeling better, having energy. We don't want you just not being sick, right? That's a really shitty level to be at. Like, I don't want you guys waking up and being like, all right, I don't feel sick today. That sucks, right? We want you to feel good. We want you to have energy. We want you to be able to run around with kids and chase grandkids. So slashing calories, there's a time and a place for it, but it's not often. Okay, so now with that being said, what is a cut, right? It's eating less than you burn. So if my body burns around 2,100 calories a day, I would eat something less than that. Okay, it can vary for every person. There's two ways to do this. The most common way is to cut the food you're eating, right? So again, if I usually eat 2,100 calories, I go into a diet and I eat 1,600 calories. There I am at a 500 calorie deficit a day. Or if I really love eating, which I do, and I had a lot of time, I could also just increase the energy I'm burning. So I could still eat 2,100 calories, but I could do an hour extra of cardio a day. So then I'm really burning 2,600 calories, which also then puts me in a 500 calorie deficit. So there are two ways to go about this, being that most of us are working moms of multiples. Adding an hour of cardio on a day, every day on top of strength training is not possible. If anyone in here, right, that has that kind of time, good for you. And do it. Why not, right? If you can still eat as much as you want for the most part, but just burn more, then go for it. But the most of us will stick with the first part. Okay. A cut in most of society is referred to as a diet, but it's actually completely wrong, right? Because a diet is just how someone eats. Okay. Nothing about a caloric deficit. A caloric deficit is when you're eating less than you burn. They usually last between 8 and 12 weeks. This can very much vary, right? So I'm doing one in April. I probably will only go 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. I'm going to go super aggressive, but I don't have a ton that I need to lose. No point in me dragging it out 12 weeks. If you have a lot of weight to lose, you can go longer as long as your biofeedback is okay. So as long as you're like, no, I still feel okay. I'm waking up with energy and, my sleep is okay. I'm still lifting. Then you can keep it going. And if the scale is going down, but if you hit a point where the scale is kind of staying still, you're so tired, you're getting irritable, your sleep is really affected, then we pull you out, right? We don't want to start messing with your internal health. I know people want way more than this, but half a pound to a pound a week is beautiful. right? Think about what that would equal out to, right? You do this for 12 weeks, that's 12 pounds down. I know that doesn't sound a lot, but you do this a couple times, you're down 40 pounds. And remember, this is sustainable. So you're down 40 pounds in a year and it doesn't come back. You're not down 20 pounds in 2 weeks and it comes back next April, right? So the slower progressions make it sustainable where you don't have to do this all the time, right? Like I haven't been in a true cut in years. I did one last April, but I was real half-assed in it, right? The scale is going to go up and down. Not one person, and I guess I'm kind of lying because I think Jess, it might be the one fucking person that's ever actually happened to. She lost weight almost every day. Now she was, not even kidding, more adherent than I've ever seen in my life. And the scale just freaking loved it. Her body was ready for it. She put in the work and the scale, I think, either stayed the same or went down the whole time. That never happens. We have people in this room that have killed cuts, right? 20, like Lisa, I don't know if Lisa's here, but killed her cut, right? But the scale still bounced up one or twice. Okay. It still went like this, but it trended down. Okay. You're not going to lose weight every day, but it's not because you're gaining fat. Maybe your poop on Wednesday was bigger than your poop on Thursday. Okay. So your body had a little extra weight. You pinched it off a little too fast. Sorry, that was gross. You drank more water on Wednesday, so the scale went up. Your kid had a soccer game, so you ate dinner at 8 o'clock at night, not your usual 5 o'clock. So you just have more food in your belly, right? That's why the scale is going up. You're not gaining fat in a cut. It's literally impossible if you're doing things the right way. This is also not a time for muscle growth. Muscle does not grow from empty space, right? The saying, money doesn't grow on trees, same thing. Muscle doesn't grow on trees. You need extra calories for muscle to grow from, right? You take in 2,000 calories, your body divvies it up to the most important things first. I'm going to run my heart. I'm going to run my lungs. I'm going to feed my brain. I'm going to run my metabolism. Oh, I have 200 calories left. Let's grow a bicep. Okay. But if you're in a cut, your body's giving those calories to your internal organs. It's not growing muscle. Right? The only reason people think they gain muscle in a cut is because they're losing body fat and they just see their muscle, right? So I might look stronger after my cut, but it's because I trimmed my body fat. It's not because I gained muscle. Okay, so any Karen or Susie that tells you they're eating 1,200 calories a day and growing muscle, they're not. They're just losing fat and seeing some of the muscle they had. There is one exception to this, and it's called the newbie gains. If you are brand new to lifting, it is possible to put on some muscle while not eating that much because your body is like in complete shock. But if you're more than 6 months in, not the time to grow muscle. It literally won't happen. You might just see it revealed, right? I always talk to you guys about revealing your foundation that you've worked so hard for. All right. There are some non-negotiables with a cut, right? You can't go into a cut half-assed, so you're going to get half-assed results and they stink. So why not just go in, do it, and get out? You have to drink water. You have to be hydrated. There's a lot of good reasons why. Obviously keeps you hydrated. You'll have to pee and get steps. It'll also fill up your belly. Do not drink your calories. One, say bye to booze. 90% of us in this room have kids. We said bye to booze for 9 months. You can do it for 12 weeks. It is not worth it. Literally empty calories. Plus, booze is a toxin. It gets labeled by your body as a poison the second it enters you. Everything else stops to get your body cleared of this poison. So you stop burning fat until the booze is processed out. So you are actually working completely against yourself when you drink in a cut, not just forget about the calories. All right, let's say you have room, you allotted for wine, cool. You're pausing the fat loss just because of drink. And I've said this before too. Why one drink? What is the point? right? So just don't have it. Wait 12 weeks and then get hammered. You'll be lighter, so you'll be drunk on one drink, right? You don't need it. It's a waste. If you're gonna commit to a cut, commit. Please do not drink sodas. Don't ever drink sodas. Don't drink juices, right? Don't get I don't know if Sid's here, but in one of Sydney's cuts, she was so proud of herself, and I just love the story. She was like, I didn't order a drink. I got a Shirley Temple instead. And I was like, I'm so proud of you for not drinking, but that Shirley Temple was probably 400 calories. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, the Sprite and the grenadine. And she was like, oh no. So the calories she didn't save on, but at least her body could still burn fat. But yeah, don't get mocktails either, right? What is the point of throwing back a 300 calorie mocktail? And then try not to drink protein shakes or smoothies. Sorry, Steph. You want to chew as much as you can, right? Protein doesn't get absorbed as well when you drink it compared to when you chew it. Your body triggers digestion when your jaw moves, okay, and chews. So when you drink, it delays your digestion process, it delays the absorption. Plus, you can drink something in like 4 seconds. Okay, the volume is smaller, right? So try not to drink any of your calories. Make sure we have a lot of steps. The more steps, the merrier, because it puts us in a bigger deficit. Don't do extra cardio unless it is assigned to you. And why I say this is like, think of poker. Actually, I don't really know how to play poker, so this might be a bad example, but like the saying where you don't want to show all your cards at first, right? You want to have some cards in your back pocket in case the scale plateaus, right? So let's say week 1 through 4, you're killing it. You're dropping 1 pound a week, 1 pound a week. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But then the scale plateaus. We don't change anything yet. We wait for a whole week. Okay, it didn't move. We drop calories one more time. Okay, scale moves, scale moves, scale moves. Then it plateaus again, but I can't drop your calories anymore because you're already pretty low. I'm not going to do it. So now I prescribe you extra cardio. Now the scale moves again, scale moves again. So you don't want to do everything at once. You want to save some of your cards in case you hit that plateau. So do not do extra cardio unless it is assigned. If you have extra time, just go for a walk, get more steps. Okay. You 100% want to still strength train because we don't want to lose our muscle during this time. We want to maintain it, and you won't lose it. If you strength train and you keep on with the progressive, well, not even progressive overload, just strength training, you will be fine. You may feel weaker. Okay, that's completely normal. You may not be able to push as much weight, completely normal. I just watched a whole thing on RP Fitness, RP Strength, that as long as you are pushing 30% of what you usually do, you can maintain your muscle, right? That's a big gap, right? So if you're squatting 100 pounds on your normal progressive overload days, you go into a cut, you start squatting 30, you can pretty much maintain what you have. Maintaining is a lot easier than building. So don't worry about losing muscle in your cut, still strength train. We have to focus on protein heavy meals. 1, to keep our muscle. 2, it's the most satiating. 3, it burns the most calories when we eat it. 3 major reasons. Same again. Keep our muscle. Most satiating, keeps us the fullest. 3, burns the most calories when we eat it, has the highest TEF. Meals out should be 0. I know that's hard, but I'm just setting the optimal goal here, right? 0. Bring your food. Don't eat. Say no to plans or go to the plans. You don't have to eat. No one is going to force you, right? Some of us have some obnoxious friends and family that will comment. Give them my phone number. Just kidding. They should all be cheering for you to be healthier. Okay, and this is only a blip in time. It's 12 weeks long max. Okay, that's it. The party will still go on if you're not there. No one's going to really care if you don't eat at, a happy hour. And also from my post on Sunday, you will not die if you don't eat for a day. Okay, like you can't, well, I was out in the city and I just had to eat. There was no options, or I was on a road trip, so I just had to get McDonald's. You actually didn't, right? Ramadan is going on right now. They don't eat from sunrise to sunset for a whole damn month. They're not dropping like flies. Okay. Very impressive willpower, but science. You will not die. So you always have the option to not eat. Right. And then sleep. Recovery is so essential. You have to sleep and try and relieve some stress, or else your body is going to hold onto the fat because it thinks something is wrong. Right? If you don't sleep and you don't recover and you don't let your stress go, your body is going to think there's a pack of wild animals chasing you and the crops have failed. So that's going to hold on to the fat because who knows when you're going to eat next. You have to let your body know you're okay. Plus, when you're sleeping, you're not eating. So it's a great way to not be hungry unless you're a sleepwalker that eats. All right, so some of the tips and tricks that we always tell people, we are going to eat for volume. What that means is we want big plates, not small, tiny. You know those fancy restaurants that serve you dishes that are this big? We don't want that. We want Cheesecake Factory portions, just not ingredients. Okay, because we're not going to have as many calories. We want to fill up our bellies and trick our body that we ate a lot. So some of those subs, right? Cauliflower rice for rice, zoodles instead of pasta, load up on the veggies. Potatoes are more macro friendly than rice. A ton of fruit. Some of those breads that are lower calorie, lean proteins, kind of say goodbye to sausages and chicken thighs. They're a little bit denser. And spray oils if you don't use those already. Okay. A lot of us eat like this normally because we're so ingrained in diet culture. One of our newer clients showed me what she ate in a day, and it was 1,000. Like you would think that she was on a major cut, but it's because diet culture, like we just think that like we can't eat bread. Can't do that. Can't eat bread, but we can drink 4 beers. You know, like we have to have salads. Every female has to have a salad for lunch. It's just what's supposed to happen. Okay. We don't need to eat like that all the time. We save those things for when we're actually in a cut. One big salad a day is awesome, right? I eat my salads out of serving bowls. And it's not because I think it's funny. It's because that's literally the size I need. A whole head of iceberg lettuce, right? 2 full cucumbers, grape tomatoes, red onion, and then 6 ounces of chicken breast. You are going to be full. Okay. And it's a super light meal. So one big salad a day is an awesome way for volume. Another thing, shorten your eating window, right? So me and Coach Steph get up pretty early. And all my girls that go to the gym before work, you're up from 4:30 in the morning to 9:30 at night. That is a big window, right? If you're trying to eat 1,500 calories in that window, you are going to be starving, right? So try and shorten that eating window. So for me, when I'm going to cut, I only eat at like 11 o'clock a.m. I push it back. 11 a.m., I'll have my first meal, and then I'm done eating by 7. So now I only have 8 hours to fit all those calories in. Way better than having 15 hours. All right, so try and shorten that eating window. It is actually better to shorten it on the night end just to help with digestion, not because if you eat at night, calories turn into fat. That is 1,000% not true. You could eat a bowl of ice cream at 9 o'clock. It's going to get the same digestion as you would at 5 a.m. Okay, but it can possibly help you sleep better. So it is better to cut it off at night. I like eating at night better, so I eat at night. I can much easier push off my first meal. So I don't eat until 11 a.m. If you do go to the gym in the morning, you rev up your metabolism pretty early. If it's possible to go to the gym in the afternoon on a cut, I would suggest it. Okay, Danielle just did this, right? We changed her gym time. Sorry, Jess. But it let her sleep longer. It shortened her eating window, right? And it didn't rev up her metabolism at 5 a.m. in the morning. Now, if going in the afternoon makes you miss it because things come up, don't do that. Don't sacrifice your gym time just for your eating window. But if you're able to stick to it, do it. So in April, I'm probably going to go to the gym after work. Probably not going to get up at 4 o'clock as much anymore to do it. Use caffeine to help cravings. Now, don't go buck wild and start drinking 7 ventis a day. Okay, but it helps. Caffeine is the only actual hunger fat loss depressant, right? Every possible fat loss drug or fat loss pill can claim that because it has caffeine in it. That's the only thing that works. Not one other thing has been studied and proven. So use it to help. Even decaf does. Okay. Decaf helps cravings, not cravings, hunger cues. So I love drinking decaf. Even hot liquids. Hot liquids just kind of like tricks your body a little bit into not being as hungry. So tea is another great thing. Minimize cardio unless told otherwise. So on top of what I told you before about you don't want to play all your cards, most of my veterans know this, right? Cardio increases your ghrelin. Your ghrelin is your hunger hormone. When you do cardio, your body pumps out your hunger hormone into your body. So it's kind of counterintuitive. You go for a 6-mile run, your body's filled with ghrelin, you're more hungry than you were before that, you're more likely to eat, or you're just more likely then to be miserable because you're more hungry. So pump the brakes on the cardio unless told otherwise. Drink water with your meals to fill up your belly. Diet sodas is, yes, okay, there's aspartame in them. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. Or seltzer, bubbles, help your belly be full. Might cause a little bloating. If you notice that, right? I don't really notice that when I have seltzers, but it's a way to fill your belly up, trick your body. And eat slow, right? This is one of my biggest flaws. My mom used to yell at me when I was little and be like, you can breathe in between bites. You would think I grew up with like 10 siblings and I had to fight for food. It was just me. I guess I was just fighting my parents for food. I don't know. But I eat very fast. Your brain doesn't catch up to your stomach, right? You don't realize that you're full until you get too full, right? So I go from like not full to like, oh my God, I need to unbutton my pants, right? There's like no in between because I'm eating so fast. Slow down your eating. And then, especially with the nicer weather coming, get outside, right? Go for a walk, go to the playground, do things. When you're home and your fridge and snacks are talking to you, you're more likely just to bored eat, right? Get out. Realize you're going to be hungry. If you're not ready to mentally be hungry, you're not ready for a cut. It's not supposed to be enjoyable, right? That's why people don't do them on the weekends. That's why people don't actually do them well. So they don't like being hungry. You will be okay. Like I said, people go from sunrise to sunset without eating. You'll be okay. Get trigger foods out of your house. I'm such a proponent of this. Stop messing around with your willpower. Stop testing yourself. You don't get a badge that says like, Stacy had great willpower today. No one gives a shit that you avoided the cookies. Get them out of your house. You're not a warrior. You're not a hero. Get them out. And if your kids love them, guess what? They shouldn't really be eating them either, right? Don't get me wrong. My kids there's cupcakes on my counter right now. But if when I start my cut, you can bet that they're going to lose some of their snacks and they'll be fine. They'll eat other stuff or buy things that you don't love. So I don't love cupcakes. The frosting doesn't do anything for me. I'm never going to open that and have one. But if I bought a box of Malamars for them, I'm shoving 7 in my mouth, right? So buy the other people in your house things that they enjoy, but you could care less about. This is the same thing with parties. I was just talking to Mindy about this a little bit. Like if you go to a party and you're supposed to bring something or whatnot, bring a dessert that you don't like, but other people do. You're not tempted by it. I do this a bunch. I'm trying to make things that other people like, but I have no interest in it. Preparation is huge. If you do not prep, that leads to you having to order out or panicking and getting pizza. You have to prep. Have emergency meals in your fridge. So for me, that's like Hummus, right? Hummus Fit. That's a place in Long Island that has pre-made macro meals. At all times, I at least have 2 or 3 in my freezer. So if, you know, my oven stops working or there's a surprise party and I didn't know about it, I have a backup. There is no excuse for me to say, well, I had to get Chipotle. I didn't. I also have 2 meals that I know I can cook in about 10 minutes, always. So I always have Costco canned chicken in my house. That with a tablespoon of light mayo on an English muffin, solid meal, solid protein. That takes about 4 minutes to make. I can have it for lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. I also always have egg whites and eggs and English muffins. So I can always make some sort of eggs on an English muffin with massive amounts of protein in about 7 minutes. And you can make that for lunch, breakfast, or dinner. So those are my 2 safe meals that I always have in my house, that if everything goes to shit, I know I can make those, or I have my pre-made meals. Take pictures and measurements because the scale is not always going to be your friend. Pictures and measurements will be. Take them in as little clothes as possible because you cannot see change when you have long leggings on or long biker shorts. It looks the same. And realize that you control this, right? This cut is on you. The more you bend, the slower it goes. So the more excuses you make, or the more times you go out, or the more times you skip the gym, manage your expectations and realize that the cut is not going to be as successful. Okay. All right. That is that. I did a lot of talking. 46 minutes. Does anyone have questions? You can either put them in the chat that should be here somewhere, or just ask. So quiet. No? All right. Actually, I don't know if you guys can do this, but is there like a little hand that you can raise on your thing? Can you put a hand up if you are for a cut in April?
Can you hear me?
Man,
Hi, how you doing?
I didn't see you there.
Yeah. I was trying to type something, but I wasn't fast enough. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Casey?
Yep.
Okay. So just to go over what you were saying, as you know, my last cut, you actually have to want to do it, as you were saying. I pushed you to put me in that cut because I wanted to do it. I gave up drinking. I gave up going out. Like, you have to want to do it. Otherwise, it's never going to work.
Yep. You're totally right. Right. You have to.
Right.
And like a lot of you guys, I actually am taking this like month course, and it's so awesome. And someone said like a lot of people will come to me, right, and be like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. As good as that sounds, your beliefs, your desires are always going to win out. I tell you what to do, but you truly don't want to do it, you're going to not do it. Right. So it's so much better for me to guide you and make you come to the realization on your own that you want to be in the cut and that you're ready than me just like telling you that you're going to do it. Right. So the fact that she was so mentally ready for it, great. Okay. And a couple of us have been through cuts already, and they didn't go so great. Right. And it's completely normal for your first cut to suck because you're not used to it. You're used to that like fad diet cut. Right. And that's not what this is. Okay. So Mindy just asked, what's the like compliance that you would set? Honestly, like 97%, maybe even higher. Like out of a month, I mean, Mindy, you're different too because you don't drink, so you have that, right? So booze is completely easier for you. I'd say one meal out, like one day where your macros are off, if you want the results. So like 97 to 100% if you want the 1 pound a week. 96 to 90% if you're okay with only losing, a 3/4 of a pound. Like, I guess you can kind of segment it, and I can't really like give you honest numbers on that. I don't know how it would play out, but your adherence just needs to match what you want out of it.
And what happens to you? Just since you're talking to me right now, what happens to metabolism at 65? That really struck a chord. Like, what happens then?
No, it does start to dwindle, but the number one reason why it dwindles is because the muscle that 65-year-olds start to lose. So you start to lose muscle at age 30 as a female if you don't strength train. You start to lose muscle at the fat, it spikes up the most once you turn 65 if you don't strength train. So that comes like the age where people really start kicking, like don't go to the gym, or like they're like my little mother who lifts pencils. And that's why your metabolism really starts to kind of slow down. Your hormones are a little different, but I mean, you're surely not living like hitting any of those normal standards.
It's good not being normal. Okay.
Like the strongest you've ever been. I love it.
I do feel that way.
You look that way.
Yeah. Don't me.
Okay, so one of the challenge women asked in the spring challenge, are those macros that you gave me or anyone else having me in a deficit or set for maintenance? My ultimate goal was to lose fat and be more fit, strength training about 5 times a week. So I gave very general macros for the spring challenge because any of my one-on-one clients knows I have to know what you're eating for multiple days to give any kind of actual guidelines. So if any coach tells you, oh, what's your height, age, weight, and how many steps do you take? I'll give you perfect macros. They're lying. It's impossible, right? Were you eating 1,500 calories before you came to me? Were you eating 2,000? Were you eating all carbs and fat? Were you eating all protein? So the deep dive of nutrition that me and Coach Steph do for our one-on-one clients is necessary. Honestly, we probably should track you for about a week, but 3 to 4 days is enough. So the challenge macros are very general, but anyone should see change if they're eating high protein, which I'm going to assume 95% of the challenge ladies were not. But I can't tell you if they're cut numbers, but also part of the precursor to the challenge was I was not going to give anyone cut numbers. I would not, that would break my moral standards to put someone in a cut that I don't know their history. I need to know how you are with sleep and stress and everything else before I would ever put you in a cut. Right? No one has come to me ever as a client and I've been like, oh, great. The first step we're going to do is put you in a cut. Right, Chris? You've waited a year. She's ready. Anybody else? Cuts are cool to see the change, but they shouldn't be fun, right? If you're totally enjoying it, I mean, maybe you are, I don't know, but they should be a little miserable. That's the point. Makes you appreciate maintenance a little bit more.
You ask those to raise their hand that are they gonna start a cut in April or do they want to start a cut in April?
No, if they're going to, because I have a bunch of people planned for.
Oh, I don't want to start a cut.
Lisa.
I
Yeah,
want to live in maintenance for a
ever.
while,
Me too.
but like for me, like because we've talked about like okay, like because I did like a mini cut before Mexico. Now I'm back, and now like I'm back at maintenance. So like how long? But then the wedding's in June, and we're gonna be in Florida for a week, and we're going to Disney.
Yeah, well, I thought me and you would chat that you might want to do one before the wedding because you haven't cut yet. Well, you cut once, but it was last
Yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, that means I'm gonna have to cut like next week, which is April, like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
A 6-week cut before the wedding will be fine. It's like the first week in June, right?
It's the first week in June. And then would you like wedding, then back to maintenance?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one wants to be in a cut over the summer.
No, and that's another thing. Like, I don't want to start it after the wedding.
Yeah.
Because
don't
and
like
then what am I going to start in the fall when I possibly plan on getting pregnant again?
Right, so you might be like me. I didn't do a cut for like 5 years because of kids and summer and nursing. It just like there was no point.
Yeah.
But international cut season, right? It just makes sense, is like April and September, right? No one should want to cut during the holidays. Again, Lisa, you're a different breed because you had that wedding and you were freaking strong as nails. But holidays is for eating and getting a little chubby and putting on muscle. It's okay. And enjoying your family. Saying no to a Christmas cookie because you're in a cut makes you hate me. So I really, really advise not to cut during the holidays, unless there is a super special reason. Lisa had her sister's wedding, and again, she was freaking phenomenal. She literally nailed it. And then you want to cut before summer. It's just natural, right? So April is like the international start your cut month, 12 weeks before July. You don't want to cut in the summer, right? Because of parties, because of more alcohol, because of things, you're just setting yourself up for failure, right? Not saying that you should go balls to the wall in the summer, and not saying that we don't want to stay lean to be more confident, but you shouldn't be purposely cutting in the summer. You're just not going to be successful. There's other ways to manage your weight in the summer that can keep you confident. And then once that's over, right, then you can kind of cut again in the fall if you wanted to before the holidays, right? So the 2 times that make the most sense mentally and physically are like April and September. Okay? Not because I just like want all you guys on a cut. It just makes the most sense. You put in the most time. It's the easiest time. There's not that many holidays, right? We can all skip. I don't know what's coming up. I mean, Easter brunch is pretty awesome, but we can manage that. Oh, Easter. We're April 1st is after Easter. Perfect. We're only skipping Mother's Day. And we can all have a diet break on Mother's Day. It's allowed. International diet break on Mother's Day.
How do we know when? So I know we've talked a little bit about like diet breaks and then going into another cut and then also like biofeedback. How do you know when the biofeedback starts to slow down? Because like mine's not right now, which is great. But like, how do we know when it starts to trend into that point? Like, what are the markers that you look for? Is it inches plus weight or is it just weight? Like, what are the markers that tell you, okay, biofeedback is telling us we have to go back into maintenance now?
Okay, so that's a great question. One can be just like your bowel movements can be all messed up, right? Your body can start to hold on to sleep can become a lot harder because you're stressed. A lot of us don't sleep great either, so that can be a little bit of a tricky one to judge it on. But if you notice a significant change in your sleep, energy, right? We're all tired, but if you're hitting like a really big wall midday or like out of a normal wall, like you get tired around 1 usually, but now you're getting tired at like 11 and 1, something might be off. The scale is plateauing for more than like a week. And we've kind of already cut calories and we've kind of added in cardio a little bit. That's your body saying like, I'm holding on because I'm done, right?
Okay.
You should be able to figure it out. And most of the time people know, like they're like, okay, I'm done. I don't think Jamie's on here right now, but she like pulled herself out of a cut not too long, like last year. She's lean, but she was like, all right, I'm done. Like my lifts are really like, you're not going to push as much weight, but she dropped like pretty dramatically in her lifts and she was getting like bitchy. So she's like, my husband can't take this anymore. So I'm out. So she stopped her cut.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay, just really quick, it's Ally. Hey.
Yeah.
I know, I think I've like asked you this and I know we've talked about this a little bit, but what's the process like after a cut? Like what do you
Questions here.
like, how do you get back to maintaining, like is it what you maintained at before the cut? or is
Awesome
it different?
question.
That makes sense.
Glad you just asked this. So after your cut, right? Hopefully you're a different weight, right? So when I
Right.
last April, I was 155 and I went to 148. So technically your maintenance now is a little bit lower because you're 7 pounds lighter. So I would readjust your calories and set you a different maintenance. It's probably going to be lower than your original, not by a ton, but it's
Okay.
lower because you lose weight. Now there's two options for how to get back there. Some people like to do a little reverse diet, right? So if like Kristen, you might be a good example for this, right? Kristen's eating almost 2,600 calories now, right? When I cut her, I'm gonna cut her pretty significantly still. Like we're gonna go to like 1,800 calories, which actually sounds amazing, right? But that's 700 calorie deficit. Now, when Kristen's done with this diet, she probably won't just jump back up to 2,500 calories. That's a pretty significant jump back, right? Because even if her maintenance is 200 calories less, that's still 2,500 calories she's going to be eating. I would probably do her in like 1 week, we'll go to 1,900. Let her body
Okay.
a little bit. Then the next week we go to 21. And then the next week we go to 25. If, someone was eating 2,000 calories and they only cut to 1,600, they might not need that reverse diet. They could probably jump back up to 1,900 and be okay. So kind of depending on how much weight you lose and what your new maintenance is, you can either jump right back to your new maintenance or you can take it in no more than like 2 or 3 intervals. But
Okay.
you guys are going to put weight back on when you're done with your cut. Understand that, right? You don't live at your leanest. You don't, right? Expect 2 pounds to come back, right? So I cut to 148. Once I got myself back to maintenance and normalcy, I was 150. You cannot live at your leanest, right? You would be miserable. You would just always be in a cut. So you want to lose 7 pounds and then find your happy place with 5 pounds down. Or you want to lose 20 and find your happy place at 18, right? So I know like Jess put on a couple of pounds back. Lisa, I think, put a couple pounds, but they're still significantly less than what they were. But you're not going to live at that lowest number. All right, you're going to have to get that through your head too. That can be a hard thing to see. You're like, oh, the scale's going back up. It's going to go back up. You have more food in your belly. You're eating more. Okay, that was a good question. That was good. Oh, it's Emma.
Thank you. So it's similar to like how when I started, you kind of each week you bumped me up a little bit to see where I was at.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
You were eating a little less, so then we want to bump you back up. But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? And again, like use us for support. Like cuts are not fun, but dive into the community, ask for recipes, ask for tricks, bitch to us, it's fine. It's good to have a nice group going with you. So I don't know if you guys can see the list or the hands, but I think I wrote a list that there's going to be like 15 or so, I guess, 15 plus people in this cut. And if you're not in it, it's also okay. Don't rush. I promise you, you will get to your cut. Like, do not rush. Everyone who's starting in April has put like over 4.5 months of solid maintenance in, right? They've paid their dues. So, and again, you can also still lose so many inches in maintenance. We have so many great examples of that. Like Meg, you lost inches in maintenance. Emma, you lost inches in maintenance. Chris, you lost freaking inches eating 2,500 calories. Allie, you too, right? You lost inches on maintenance. Everyone. So just because you're not in a cut doesn't mean you won't see changes. Lisa, you too. Lisa lost an insane amount of inches on her maintenance. So it's not like you're not going to see change, right? You will lift heavy, walk, eat. You'll lose like inches. Get right on this. They're for these lovely ladies. All right. Is Coach Steph even here still? No, she left me. Steph, she left us. I don't know.
CJ, there's a question in the chat.
Oh, Mindy. Just kidding. Okay, so
I might overthink things a little bit, but
good question. So Mindy asked, right, like, how do you get your calories so high that you can have a big significant cut, which is great. Like I keep using Kristen as an example. Kristen worked her way up to like 2,600 calories. So now her cut can be like 700 calorie deficit. And she's still eating 1,800 calories. Now, I don't want to burst this bubble because this might happen for Chris. Your body may adjust to that. So I was kind of the same way. I was up to 2,400 calories and my coach cut me to 17. And I didn't really lose that quick because it was still a significant amount of calories. So he had to drop me to 1,500. So sometimes your body, and Lifting Lindsay talks about this a little bit too. Sometimes you have to just be super low calorie. But the more muscle you have, the more calories you can burn. The more you move, the more you can burn. So the more muscle we put on is the higher the maintenance should be for you. So if you're not completely petrified of this scale, we want to push those calories. Like Kristen was super brave and she mentally accepted that the fact that she was going to gain a little bit weight in these last 2 months. She gained about 4 pounds back. Her body still looked different because she was gaining muscle, but she gained weight, but she knew that it would benefit this cut. But if you get to a point where you tell me you're like, let's raise these calories and see how much we can push it till we see the scale change, then I'm all for that. I love feeding people, and then it makes your cut more significant, right? No one wants to be in a cut with a 200 calorie deficit. That's painfully slow, right? That means you're losing a 1/4 pound a week. Like, oh, you're gonna have to be in that for 6 months just to see change. So we want to make it significant. We want to slash those calories. It should suck, right? So we want to get you high beforehand. But you have to, minimize the late night binges so we can actually see how many calories you eat, not just guess. And they're kind of empowering too. Like anyone who's been through like a good cut and it's worked, like you feel kind of badass at the end. Like I said no, I prioritize myself. Like your friends kind of get on board after a little bit, unless they're not nice. But like I know Lisa was super proud of herself. She should have been. Her husband crushed it too. Jen, another great person. Emma, you lost a ton of weight. Like it's empowering. Like you do a really hard thing. And then you appreciate maintenance, you appreciate muscle building, and then you're back in it. I need. All right. We good? This is a great one. I'm glad that everyone came. I will send out the oh, ball. What I'm gonna record. I think I forgot to press record. Oh no. Shoot. Well, that pays to come in person.
No, you're recording.
I
It says
think you
recording.
recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It
you're
said
good.
recording.
Okay, perfect. I did not remember doing that. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Top left recording. Okay, good. All right. Everyone have a really great night. And you're also always more than welcome to ask me questions about this if you think of anything later. But this was a good one. One starting in April. May the forces be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye,
Bye,
guys. Good
everyone.
night.
Thank you. Bye.
Why does stuff left?